Rams fans, we've got a boatload of news to discuss on today's show. We are going to be rolling through a bunch of topics from today around the NFL that impact the Rams and with the Rams specifically. The Rams were in practice today for a jog through, so not a full-on practice, not a ton to discuss from that specifically, but we did have some pressers outside of that with Sean McVay and a few Rams stars that produced some notable moments that we're going to discuss. We've got a signing to talk about for the Rams, and we've got some major NFL news that has a dramatic impact on a huge star for the Rams who needs a deal coming up very soon. But speaking of deals, guys, we've got one of our own to discuss today. The Rams are making yet another addition to the offensive line. This one coming our way from the NFL's transaction wire, and we fired off a little tweet about it. Make sure you guys are following me over on X/Twitter these days at @JDurham_FBall for all the Rams news you need. But Blake Hance is signing with the Los Angeles Rams. He is a pretty decent veteran at this point in the league, a veteran right guard. He's played this will be his 8th season in the NFL. He's been a bit of a journeyman at this point. Browns, Niners, Jags, Titans, he's all seen action with. He's been on a couple other teams' practice squads as well. And again, primarily at that right guard spot, but he's also played a little bit at center. And when you look at this Rams offensive line, you honestly immediately notice why they kind of did this. Justin Dedich, I think, is the question mark at this point, and we're going to talk about that more later. But if you haven't already heard the news on him, and again, we'll dive deeper on the update that we got today, later on today's show, he ended up hitting the non-football injury list earlier this week. So he is, as of right now, not on the active roster, and the timeline's a little bit unclear. Again, more details coming later on today's show. But guys, if you are fired up for the 2026 season to begin, drop a like on today's video and help this get out to more Rams fans so they're up to date on all the Rams news they need. And send the message that Rams fans are ready for what should be one of the best seasons in Rams franchise history. The expectations are as high as they have ever been for this Los Angeles Rams team. And let's keep rolling on today's show. We've got a few things that we need to discuss coming up here. Some notes from the press conferences. 3 big topics that came out of our various Rams press conferences that I want to talk about. And number one, we got to start with Aaron Donald. We got another update around Aaron Donald. I'm sure you saw him on the thumbnail of today's video, and I'm sure, we talked about it right off the top as well. But Sean McVay has once again spoken on Donald. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, this may happen literally every day of training camp until Aaron actually signs. The media's just not going to stop asking about Aaron Donald. All right, here's what Sean said, though. Here's what I'll tell you. We've kept in contact. He's feeling good. His training is going really well, but no new news on the front of any imminent decision on whether he's going to play or not. So again, contact continues. I think that's the biggest immediate takeaway from this quote is they remain in contact. That conversation is continuing. Work is continuing on Aaron Donald's front to potentially get back. And then what was interesting is he got a follow-up question, McVay did, about, are you aware of Aaron Donald working out at the Rams practice facility? Do you have any comment on that? And he's like, I don't know. I haven't seen that. If he was doing it, he was like, no one's been here during those moments, so I don't know. And then he said, you might want to ask TMZ about that. He said, I feel like TMZ might know about that. Obviously, jokingly alluding to that TMZ report where TMZ posted a number of photos of Aaron at the Rams practice facility. So McVay being a little coy on that front, not giving us a straight up answer on exactly how much contact he's having with Aaron, exactly how involved he is in this return process, but that return process is ongoing, and he seems like he knows more than he's letting on. We're going to get you more up to speed on everything you need to know around the Los Angeles Rams in just 1 second here, but before we do that, guys, I've got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is the good people over at PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app. Guys, if you're a regular viewer of the Rams Report, you know all about PrizePicks, but if it's your first time watching us, it's time to cash in on your ball knowledge with America's #1 sports picks app. And yes, turn your ball knowledge into sports. The app is really easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. With the social feeds feature, guys, you could share PrizePicks with your friends. You can copy lineups with a single click. That includes me. Guys, you could drop a quick follow on my PrizePicks username, just Jackson Durham, my first and last name. And you can tailor fade all of my latest lineups, including this one I've got going for Taco Tuesday, as LeBron would say. Every Tuesday, PrizePicks offers discounted more projections, where for this one, for example, it's Olivia Miles' points, rebounds, and assists. It's knocked down just a little bit for us, so I'm going to throw that in my lineup alongside Jackson Holiday and Aaliyah Boston. So again, you guys could tail, you could fade, whatever you do, just do it at PrizePicks. And if you're a brand new user, make sure you use the new user offer. Play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right, PrizePicks just switched up their offer, so there's no better time to join. Lock in and win that first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. As always, we appreciate them. Let's keep talking to Aaron Donald here, guys, because there's another angle of this that we need to discuss that I feel like maybe we haven't done a good enough job talking about, because confusion clearly remains around the contract angle for Aaron Donald. And I get it, because it's a little weird, right? Like, he retires with a year left on his deal. That deal has $30 million left in salary on it. But then you also have 2 years worth where we're taking dead cap hits for Aaron Donald. So I saw this question posed today. It's like, what exactly is Adam Schefter referring to in this video that a lot of you have probably already seen, where he talks about if the Rams want to bring back Aaron Donald, they're going to have to do it on the contract that he had in place before. And many of you are wondering, like, why doesn't that go away because of the dead cap payments the Rams made? Well, it's a really good question, and the answer is pretty simple. The dead cap payments that the Rams made have nothing to do with the salary, but they do have everything to do with the deal, if that makes sense. Those dead cap payments are prorated signing bonuses. So when a player signs their signing bonus on their contract, they get the cash up front all at once, but the cap effect of that signing bonus is rolled down the line every year of the contract. So the Rams had to pay out the rest of the signing bonus payout, in quotation marks, as far as the cap was concerned. So no cash went to Aaron Donald for that. He already got that cash when he signed the contract. And then the rest of it was the remaining guaranteed money on the deal. So right now, the $30 million that remains for Aaron Donald is one $30 million salary bucket, if that makes sense. All the guaranteed money is gone. At this point, Aaron would be coming back and collecting $30 million if the Rams did not renegotiate his deal, which they absolutely will, on game-to-game checks. But at the end of the day, again, the Rams are not going to pay Aaron Donald $30 million to come back, nor does Aaron Donald need $30 million to be convinced to come back. He will come back for a price that is much, much more reasonable for the Los Angeles Rams, but also at the same time, not insignificant. They're going to make this worth his while, absolutely. Next, I told you guys we'd talk about this one a little bit earlier, kind of hinted at it. We got to talk about Justin Dedich. I'm not going to lie, this is not what we were looking to hear. Sean McVay told media today that the reason Justin Dedich hit the NFI list is actually because of a hand accident that stems from, quote, around the 4th of July. So obviously your mind is probably immediately going to firework accident. I can tell you 100% that's not the case. This was not a firework accident. He does have all of his fingers. All hands are intact. Timeline unclear at this point, though. Like, Mike Garafolo said it would be, quote, near future return. But again, that's pretty vague. Like, near future could mean anything from a week from now to a month from now. This is still concerning even though we know it wasn't a firework accident, it seems to be something relatively serious. If this happened around the 4th of July, and here we are on, what is it, July 28th, it's been 24 days nearly at this point. If it again happened on July 4th, we're hearing around July 4th. The fact that they're using that date makes me think it was probably on July 4th. But again, like 20 plus days at the least, and he's still dealing with the effects of this, still can't get back and play. It's a little concerning to say the least. But again, just details are so scant around this. I don't really want to speculate too much around exactly what happened because, again, we don't know. But I can tell you for sure, despite the context maybe leading you down that road, this was not a firework accident on the part of Justin Dedich, and he does have all of his fingers per Mike Garafolo. So at least on that front, we're good. But again, no idea really what's going on with Dedich other than that he's got all 10 of his fingers. I can tell you that and not much more. Next, Coleman Shelton. I think this is significant. I don't think it'll get as covered as it probably should, though. Kevin Dotson was speaking to the media today. The Rams tweeted this clip out. I encourage you to go check it out. And when he had nothing but really, really good things to say about Rams center Coleman Shelton. The way he described him is the QB2 of this offense. He's like a second quarterback out on the field. That's the way they view him. That's the way they think of him. And for a center, that's exactly how you want to be viewed. That's exactly the kind of mentality that you want your teammates to look at you as, and the kind of presence you want to bring to an offense. Because at the end of the day, the center for an offensive line, if you're not familiar with like really what their role is beyond just snapping the ball to the quarterback on every play, is responsible for a lot of the play-to-play communication with the rest of the offensive line. Picking up blitzes, a lot of that comes from the center. A lot of that comes down to center identification of where guys are coming from. So again, having a Coleman Shelton who is clearly so respected by his teammates, I think that's underrated. I do think I think at the end of the day, we got a great offensive line. I would say it's fair to say he might be the weakest piece of that offensive line. But again, that speaks more to the other members. But despite being maybe the weakest piece of that offensive line, he is still in his own right a really, really solid piece of the puzzle and plays a massive role for this team. Let's move on here. I told you guys off the top, we've got NFL news that affects the Los Angeles Rams, and this one absolutely does. The Eagles are signing Jalen Carter to a just absolutely whopping 4-year, $152 million extension. Could be worth up to $160 million, guys, with 106 guaranteed. That obviously makes him the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. He's under contract through 2031. And as soon as my watch buzzed and I got this news, I went, oh man, Kobie Turner is giddy right now, ain't he? Like, if I'm Kobie Turner right now, I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm kicking my feet. Like, you've got to be absolutely thrilled about this news. Because now, for the second time in the last couple of months, the defensive tackle market has been fully reset. We saw Jeff Simmons do it just a couple of weeks ago. We saw Jeff Simmons come in and get a $35 million per year contract that absolutely blew Chris Jones out of the water. And now, when we update this thing, it'll be number one will be Jalen Carter, again blowing the previous number one out of the water. Again, we're seeing that huge leap each time with Carter getting $38 million. And every time this happens, every time someone resets the market, it has a ripple effect on the rest of the market. It has a trickle-down effect, you might even say, on the rest of the market. And Kobie Turner is he's standing outside with a bucket for some of that trickle-down. my friends. Right now, Kobie Turner is very excited about this because he is next in line to a lot of degrees. He is one of the next. I would say you look across this defensive tackle market, there's not really a name left. Jalen Carter was definitely the guy that was next to get paid. Well, it was going to reset it for sure. So if I was Kobie Turner, I kind of wanted to wait on Jalen Carter. Because, look, I'm not telling you Kobie Turner's getting $38 million. That'd be ridiculous. I'm not telling you Kobie Turner's getting $35 million. Again, I don't even think that's true. But I am telling you that these two guys getting what they're getting moves the needle higher for Kobie Turner. And, hey, if the Rams had signed him earlier, wouldn't have done that. So, again, you can make an argument the Rams waited a little too long on Kobie Turner. To some degree, I would make that argument. I think it'll end up being completely fine if you sign him to a deal that looks something like this. But at the same time, I just don't want to see this thing get out of hand. I don't want to see this thing get crazy on the Los Angeles Rams, and it absolutely could if they keep waiting and somebody else was to get paid. Again, even if they don't reset the market, every time somebody else gets more money than you would have expected them to at this position, it's going to move Kobie Turner's expectations just a little bit higher. And I don't think Kobie Turner's a me guy because of this. I know that's where people immediately go every single time something like this happens. I'm happy for Kobie Turner. I want to see him get paid, but I want to see the Rams get this done so they don't end up paying him just an absolutely ridiculous amount, because we all know the Rams have a lot of other deals to get done over the next couple of weeks. But if you want Kobie Turner to get paid, if you want Puka to get paid, if you want everybody to get paid in that 2023 draft class, drop a like on today's video. Obviously, we know everybody's not going to get paid, but everybody's getting money from somebody. So if you want to see all those guys get cashed out, drop a like on today's video, and that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the Rams Report. Thanks, guys, as always, for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.